Hi everyone, I'm Char the Star Tarot, CTS Tarot for short. I have never done a video before. I've always loved tarot. I've had a lot of psychic experiences in my life, and for the longest time I've known things like I knew that whatever I was sensing in myself would be reflected in the cards, but I didn't really realize that that was psychic until I ran across a video on YouTube and I saw all these people talking about things that I had been applying myself and realizing working with cards and trying to understand why I sense things. I've done the Myers-Briggs, and while I am an empath, my thinking is 50% as well, so I'm also a logician. I'm like right in the middle there, so it might be an interesting perspective. I am a double Libra, and I tend to pull cards for myself, and I have brought out some of my decks, unsure that I will feel a calling or a draw towards any particular one. I have 3 other decks that are tarot here that aren't oracle, that are for clarification, so that I can allow the spirits to give me another card that might have already been played. And also, if I'm looking for some particular sense, something, I have a Native American deck. I have the sexual magic deck, and then I have another Rider-Waite. This is one of the smaller aftermarket decks. I like to use the Albano weight because of the colors. I am starting with this. I have no idea. I want to put this up even if it turns out that it's not very good. This is really my first time, and I'm doing it by myself, and I'm trying to create this space in my home. And just so you know, in my kitchen here, I have somebody who lives next door, and if they have the TV on, it can be kind of loud. And in my living room, I live over a major street, so it can be pretty loud out there, so I choose over here. For now, I'm not using music, although I will tell you that I am clairaudient as well. I don't usually play the radio, and today I accidentally left the house, and my phone didn't connect with my sound system in my car automatically, and so it defaulted to radio, and it started playing Someone Like You by Adele. And it's so funny because it's exactly what I was going through, and I forgot about that song. But for a moment in time, I realized, you know what? I don't feel so alone just because someone else was emoting that. And I feel like, yes, there are a lot of tarot readers out there, but I think that my sense of what I'm like a born life coach when it comes to love. So I want other people to feel like they aren't alone in what they're feeling, and that as a bunch of it could be a collective someday, I don't know. I could totally fail today because I'm nervous. But the cards have told me every which way but forward, and I've sensed it when I ask about my ability to do this. I've gotten the sun on several pulls in a row. So I see this happening. But it'll take time for me to know how to do this well. So obviously not going to be doing private readings unless by some miracle I am so out the gate good at it. I could start doing that sooner rather than later. I also might do extendeds, but I haven't even figured out how to do that yet. I just figured out how to set up my phone with a tripod just to do this, okay? So please forgive me. I will show you my face eventually, but I have enough to worry about without feeling like I need to look in the camera a certain way. I am capable of doing reversals, but because maybe nervousness or whatever, and I'm not as adept at the reversals, because for the most part, I learned a system of my own. The cards basically told me what they meant, and it was a completely different system. And you'll notice sometimes when I look at a card, you'll see a connection to the symbolism, of course, but it won't be the traditional meaning, because I basically taught myself my own system and let the cards tell me what they meant. But there was enough in the upright that I never felt the need to do reversals. But now that I've been trying to study up on how the traditional way of reading them, how that goes after watching all these videos, thinking I need to do it, the more correct way. No one would understand my version, and plus it takes a lot of questioning to get to an answer, because a lot of the way I read the cards had to do with versions of yes and no, yes but this, or no but there's this component of blah blah blah. So it kept leading me in the right direction, and it's a completely different way of reading cards, and I might do that at some point if I'm good at this. People have wanted to learn my system when they saw me do it, because it's something that people can do on their own a little bit easier than feeling intimidated by the whole deck of cards. Although I have heard people talking about how you can just look at the pictures and you don't need to memorize and all this and that. So they probably could have done it on their own anyhow. But all right. I decided that for my first video, that since I'm usually pulling cards about Libras, I'm a double Libra, my best friend is a Libra, I will just do Libra for now. I don't know after that. And I might not use any of these items, but I have them here. I have a lot more, but these were the ones I felt motivated to bring out here just in case. And I typically read for understanding what's going on in a love relationship. It's like the Lover's card. There's like this mountain of difference in how they look at things. Like the woman is looking up in a celestial sense, and the man is looking directly at her, almost like a she's in the 5D and he's in the 3D. And I think that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in understanding each other, because I really have gotten to the point where I know that there is no reading that has to do with an answer being something that's that negative voice in your head. It never is that. So I have come to realize that I'm not afraid of what the cards are going to tell me, because the truth is going to be something understandable. And I know that. Oh, and also, I did cleanse everything. I'm new at crystals, but I like having their energies. They feel good. I've kept these angels throughout my life, no matter where I've moved or what I've gotten rid of. They've always been a part of me. This is a gift from my best friend, and I've always been drawn to wearing the Tokyo milk scents when I'm doing card readings, so I am going to do that. This is bittersweet. I don't know if you're familiar with these, but they're very unique and intense. Okay. I'm not trying to sell that or anything like that. I don't care if Tokyo Milk knows that I said that or not. It just telling you about myself. Okay, the usual stands. Okay, I'm reading on from the perspective of a Libra. If you're a cross watcher, take it as it resonates. But I will tell you that I've noticed in watching a lot of these videos that it's usually from the perspective of a female. So if you're a male cross watcher, maybe it would work, but when I've tried to cross watch, and I feel like, well, the person that I like to cross watch for has a sign that I have a lot of too. So it ends up being a reading for me. So it gets really complex. I think that if it doesn't resonate, you could be working with energies that really aren't Libra. And even if you're a cross watcher, you know, you get into these little conundrums as well. I'm not saying that, you know, just keep watching videos till you find what resonates, because that sounds fake. You know, in your deepest soul, you sense when something is speaking to you. And I can't speak to every Libra in the world. If I notice that I have a second story, I will point it out. But for the most part, I am motivated by the people who love someone and the communication has gone awry. That is where my heart is. I might get into more down the road. Who knows? I can be found on different platforms as CTS Tarot, Shar the Star Tarot, and I will try to check for messages. Right now, and maybe forever, I am pretty unknown, so I can probably get back to you. But if you're going to tell me something that has to do, that's something negative, I don't, as soon as I see the negative comment, I don't even let that energy in me, and I delete it, and any messages from that person would no longer be welcome. So I would just delete it and the message would not be received. I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but I have dealt with CPTSD and I need to feel safe. And this is really scary, putting myself out here. So if I'm not resonating with you, believe me, I have noticed ever since I discovered these online tarot readers, there are so many amazing readers out there, and so many different ways of reading. I mean, you might be connected to someone who's just more chill, and it's more like, oh, what's the daily feel? Let's laugh and joke. Oh my gosh, some of my favorite are funny. I am actually a really funny person, but it has to come out naturally. So, sorry I'm using my hands a lot, but you can't see me, so I'm using my hands to make emotion, I guess. I keep holding this deck. I prayed over these. I'm an agnostic, and I've tried I like dark, I like light, I like everything in the middle. I think the spirits are neither bad nor good. I think that the energies just are, and even the dark energies are here to show us something, and they have their role, and therefore I don't see anything as technically bad, but negativity, that's something that I definitely have to draw a spiritual boundary on. All right. I think that's it. I hope I didn't forget anything, and sorry for the long lead-in, but I really wanted to maybe also get to the bottom of where my heart's at on this, and maybe you'll get to know me if you were drawn to watching my video. Okay, now we'll get started. So, I have a thumb, trigger thumb issue, and I don't think it'll ever go away, so I tend to mix the cards differently. I pre-shuffle, but I prefer to do it out of range of the camera because, oh, I have some cards falling out already for you, Libra. Let's see what we got here. That way I'm not pressured to do it nicely if my thumb is a little affected. So anyhow, wow, okay. I don't have a particular spread I'm working with right now, so I'm mostly looking at seeing things in terms of a linear direction of Libra situation with the person that they love. Right now I'm getting an overall sense of the situation, and then I will pull cards afterwards to see what your person is thinking. And maybe what stands between us and our person. You can see this video is getting long, huh? Okay, maybe I'll just keep it simple today, and maybe I'll do a follow-up on the other ideas, okay, for this spread. All right, so here I haven't even pulled all the cards yet, and I already see that someone's got baggage there, but they're trying to make their way over. They're determined, even if they have the baggage, they want to get to the other side. And wow, this guy here, I know what he's up to. Yeah, he's like, he's also a swordsman. He's in his head. Gone from swords to swords here. And he's like trying to get away with something here. So, dude's got baggage. He's trying to get away. He's trying to pull a fast one. Oh, great. That's just what I wanted to hear. So, but then here we have the cups, and this one is wish fulfillment. So I'm thinking that we are his wish fulfillment. And again, that's another thing. Energies, male, female. I'm generally, when I say reading for females, I mean female energies. I have no ability to see gender. For some reason, I was born that way. So I am speaking from the female towards the male energies. So, yeah. So I'm seeing this as, since I didn't specify, I'm seeing this as a story of him. Okay, so we're seeing what's going on with him, it looks like. So we're the wish fulfillment, but he's up to some funny stuff going on here. Okay. Well, if we're the wish fulfillment, I leave room for extra cards, but I do 3 and 3. So hopefully you can see that. I might have to redo the camera for my next video. Okay, so let's see if that's what's going on with him. Let's see what the spirits have to tell us next. And I will see what's happening as I pull the cards. Ooh, there's it's not clear. Somebody's hiding what they really feel. Well, that could be Libra, because, you know, we're very sensitive people. We may not want to completely give away everything. But I have a feeling that it's more about our masculine. He's keeping his feelings to himself. And it looks like it's keeping him up at night, like dogs howling in the night. Oh, and look at this crab. I never noticed the crab before. That is too funny. Or is that a lobster? I don't know, but he looks like he's ready to pinch somebody. Maybe he's going to mess with the dogs. I don't know. But, yeah, that lobster looks like he's up to no good. Oh, no. I'm seeing a pattern here. That's not good. All right. Let's see what's happening next. Ooh. Ooh, look at all these wands. My gosh, a 9 of wands now? This dude is definitely trying to protect his domain. He does feel powerful, though. He's on guard. And he is determined to keep what he considers his. I'm thinking that even though he's dealing with all this stuff, we're the wish fulfillment, and he wants to keep us around, even if he's not communicating much lately. I see. But we have collaboration here. So I'm thinking that it's possible, this is the 3 of Pentacles, that there's going to be some work done in the sense of everyone bringing their insight to him to decide how best to go about this. So it looks to me like this guy here, I don't know that he feels like he's being dishonest. I feel like the people in his life know that his heart is in the right place, but he must have a situation that perhaps somebody is, he has to hide from somebody or something. Well, I will say that keeping counsel with his friends over this, to work on this, is wise, at least, because so far he's been just being deceptive and carrying too much, all that good stuff. So let's see what's happening next. Ooh. Oh. Oh no. I was thinking that, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions. The reason that he has to hide is because somebody, if he tries to get out, somebody wants to take his resources, his money. So maybe he's in a relationship or living with someone, and that person is with him for his money, and he wants out, I think, because we're his wish fulfillment, and that's why he's had to be deceptive. He wants to defend his money, and he's talking to his friends because his friends know that he has a right to do that, because this female energy looks like she's using him. Ugh. Well, I mean, there are all kinds of relationships, and I am not one to judge, but I tend to love for the sake of love, and I'm willing to understand a lot. So it's not the type of feminine presence that I am as familiar with, but I'm sure that there are some arrangements in this life. But I think in those kinds of relationships, one or the other realizes that without real love, it doesn't really work. So we end up in these kinds of situations is probably the case. All right. Let's see what happens next. Oh, and it's upside down, but you know what? I do know how to read upside down, so I'll just leave it. And I'm kind of glad it's upside down because, oh my God, this one. Oh, by the way, I don't usually swear, but sometimes I get so into it, I might start taking on different personas from different parts of the country because I have friends all over the country. I might start talking like a Jersey girl from 1 minute. I might start talking ghetto the next. I mean, I have every type of scenario under my belt. Okay. Anyhow, so he can't he what thankfully he's trying to undo the damage. These cups that have spilt and the cups that are behind him, he's trying to fix that. So, in the ideal world, it would be turned upside down, even though that's not a good card to have right side up. It's upside down. The world is upside down for him right now, and he definitely wants to deal with the cups that fell over so that he can finally look over here. Because look, he's looking towards this while it's upside down. Gosh, that's one of the darkest cards. This reminds me of Kylo Ren. If you watch Star Wars, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And I am getting a Star Wars deck. It's coming out like in October or something like that. But I will use that. Hopefully y'all will be around. Okay. And what do we have here? King of Pentacles. Okay. So, the King of Pentacles this is what he wants to be. He's not. It's interesting that both of these cards at the end are upside down because, he's got to deal with the love situation and the money situation. He is looking towards this King of Pentacles to deal with the situation. But he's kind of looking down, so... but I do see him in this direction. And look, he's also looking down, too. It's kind of funny. They're almost going inward here. And the energy of the King of Pentacles is there, but he's not in control of it right now. Overall outcome, at least in the immediate future, if not later down the road, but in the immediate future, what can you tell us about his situation in terms of his journey towards Libra? Wow. He has no choice. He is drawn. He must partner with us. He's not blind. Well, I hope that story makes sense. I could look more at it, but I was a little nervous since I was on camera to make sure I was keeping the story rolling and whatnot. But the only things I kind of see here, although I forgot to tell you, this is the 6 and this is the 7, which is funny, they're in a row. Is that he's looking at that dude, so he definitely wants his wish fulfillment with us. What he wants, and the ultimate situation is, he knows he has no choice. Okay, so I am going to put down this deck here, and let's see. Let's take maybe an animal spirit. Let's see what advice animal spirits can give us as Libras in this situation. You know, and I also want to point out that since, you know, I can't speak for every Libra in the entire universe, that you could look at this in other ways. I mean, if it's not a female presence that's causing this, it could be anything that's toxic, truly. Um, they could be caught up in, well, well, let's hope it's not porn or alcohol or drugs, but because you don't want any of that. But you know, it could be a work situation, or you just never know. So if you see something and you do see, it's, you know, it's not really another woman, or you know that there's no other woman. Just keep in mind though that even if you know this person, men don't always advertise what's going on in their lives, so they could be being private about it. So I don't see anything in this deck that's in this spread that suggests that this is a past person. So I think that this could be or might not be. I think that Libras in general are looking towards new love, and it could be something that's become new again from the past, or it could be just something quite new and they're not telling you the whole story. Also, want to point out that the only major arcana out here is the moon, and that's of course a really, really strong indicator, because it is major arcana. It's got a lot more powerful energy, and so I would say that to keep in mind that there's probably a lot more going on behind the scenes than he's letting you know, or maybe even other people. I mean, dogs can sense things. They don't understand our language. They feel things almost like us psychics, you know? They just feel. They can't tell you. So I hope that this turns around. I want to do another reading at some point, and I want to keep this. I'm going to take a picture of it or something so that we can continue this story, because this video is getting long. So let's just pull a card from the Oracle deck and see what animals. See, I really love animals, so